The biggest feature that helps Borderlands 3 earn its 3 is definitely your spaceship that allows you to travel from planet to planet and expands this franchise in so many ways. So we're about to embark on a wild ride, a race to space, as I show you exactly how to get to level 10 in your ship as fast as humanly possible when you first pick up the game. What's going on, everybody? It's Ghost Robo, and I am loving Borderlands 3. It is a colorful, chaotic explosion of awesomeness. I've been playing the full game, and I can't wait to start my content with you right here in this epic space race. I'm going to put the minute markers up on screen so you can see exactly how I went from 0 minutes to 1 hour and 25 and to Sanctuary 3. Now, I recommend Flak, but we'll talk more about character classes a little later. It takes you to the 9-minute mark before you fire your first bullet, and that is where you'll start pumping lead into all of these ugly heads. There's a lot of dialogue in Borderlands 3, and as far as I can tell, none of it is skippable, so you will spend some time waiting around. But I'm going to show you all of the major scenes that happen as we progress from 0 to 85 minutes, and here is the next one. 12 minutes, we find our first boss, the first named character, Shiv. Although I wouldn't really qualify him as a full-on boss, he's more of a half boss or a quarter boss because he goes down so quickly even with your early starting armaments. But it's an important kill because it will help you reach level 2 at 14 minutes and unlock your first action skill. Now, these are obviously mission critical, and Flak is my choice because he's the Beastmaster, and I'm going to be playing solo, and maybe if you're racing, you will as well. And his buddy system really supports that crowd control and those second efforts that you need if you're going to be playing by yourself. Now, I love his guard skag and his gamma burst. It allows you to pull the skag through a portal of goo and goop and deal massive damage as you enlarge your friend. But at 16 minutes, we meet Lilith, another named character, this time on the good guy's side. Obviously, she's a very important character, not only in the game, but in the franchise as a whole. After we meet up with the redhead, we will have to fight our way out of Shiv's camp and make it back to our new base where we'll take up our cause against the two evil Calypso twins. Now, at this point, you have early weaponry, pistol, maybe something else you found along the way, so you got to be accurate if you want to keep it quick. I try to go for headshots always and make sure you move through enemies as fast as possible. Now, you'll see that Lilith is talking, but I'm still on the move. You don't have to stand in front unless they have a prompt that you need to activate. Here is where at 21 minutes, I'm going to recommend doing one side quest. Only one side quest in this entire video, but it is the side quest that unlocks vending machines. Now, those will come in handy a lot sooner than you may expect because after we help Marcus out, we are able to unlock a new gun. And I think grabbing a shotgun or some sort of powerful weapon early is going to really help expedite things. And you can't get a vehicle right here, so we'll have to touch on that a little bit later. Actually, it is the next minute marker, but not until 40. So you'll spend a little bit of time here, maybe adding a new weapon, but unlocking the vending machines, messing with your inventory a little bit, and then defeating a lot of foes on foot as you work towards a better mode of transportation. Again, it's all about going for those headshots and trying to use your Beastmaster beasts to your advantage. It just helps out a lot when you've got support from another side. And you can switch out if you don't want to use the skag. You can grab a guy with a gun or fly in from above with some rack support. There's a lot that you can do with Flak. I think he's honestly the coolest character class in the game. We'll run into Vaughn along the way. He'll join up with Lilith back at base. And again, we'll have to meet our friend Ellie, who will help us unlock vehicles just about at the 40-minute mark. So she'll send us on a small little quest of her own to go recover a car. You take out the captain and grab your first vehicle at 40. Now this unlocks Catch a Ride and allows us to respawn said vehicles and make our way across the map in style a lot faster than we could at the earlier points of the game. Now again, there are a bunch of side quests that you can do, but if you want to race with me in space, get to that ship, check out what's going on with Moxie, Marcus, and Claptrap up above the stars, then this is the way to do it. Getting some good quick kills here, some nice melee strikes, and using that skag as we push to level 5, halfway home to our total of level 10. Now, you'll be surprised to know that we actually reach space before we reach level 10 because of all the XP we leave on the table from those skip side quests. but it's necessary for speed, and that's why we do it. We're now entering Mouthpiece's lair, which is a very beautiful building, but it's full of challenge. And thank goodness for the second wind system, because as we progress and as we continue to be a little bit under-leveled, it's lovely that we have a way to get back on our feet, especially playing solo. Even though that Skag is trying his hardest, sometimes you will go down. And you might even go down at the 55-minute mark to Mouthpiece, because he is a much more formidable foe than Shiv was back at the beginning. But he is a very eclectic enemy. I like the fight, and it's going to yield some sick loot that will be of super importance to our push. Alright, so stay away from Mouthpiece, obviously. Avoid his electronic impulse, and use your pet to your advantage. That Gamma Burst summons a much sturdier Skag and helps a ton. So we'll take out Mouthpiece around probably about the 58-minute mark. That's where he will go down, and we'll be able to grab some glorious loot. Now, this is the first really important piece of loot. It is called the Killing Word, and it is a pistol that packs a lot of punch and will put a lot of dudes on their butts as you race to space. So basically at this point, I'm sprinting through everything except for ammo pickups. Yes, I will click on everything just in case, but I'm fast traveling when I can. And it's a nice system that doesn't have too long of a load and will allow us to take our talents to our next target in the Droughts, who is Tannis. A very important character, and one that will help reveal what our mysterious map will do at the hour and 5-minute mark. We need to defend her and kind of keep some of the bandits at bay while she works on said space map, the vault map. And we'll have a little help from Lilith, who has reappeared, and we'll use some of her skills to pay the bills here and allow Tannis to operate as she likes. I have a few better weapons here, but I'm not too concerned with it, because as long as you're playing efficiently, you'll be okay. The enemies are still low enough level, and Pandora is still a pretty easy planet, so it should work out nicely. There's the map we spoke of. At this point, we're almost to space, but first we gotta fuel her up. At the hour and 10-minute mark, we'll pick up the biofuel transport vehicle and go to grab some fuel. Some natural, good old-fashioned fuel, which means running over life forms in order to convert them to biofuel and power Sanctuary 3. Now, we'll also need an Astro Nav chip that will help us get around the galaxy once we're up there. But it's a pretty quick process. 10 runovers and you're ready to enter this bandit camp and take out as many dudes as you can. Because we're going to be sprinting through, we're going to be skipping side quests, so it's important that you do kill the enemies in front of you in order to acquire enough XP so you're not too under leveled. Now, we're back at the base where you can see the ship is almost ready for action. We cash in the biofuel, Ellie fills her up, but then Lilith gets attacked at the hour and 17-minute mark in a spectacular cutscene where the Calypso twins come to show who's actually in charge. It's a pretty intense sequence. I'm not going to show all of it here, but just know that you're in for a lot of good Borderlands 3 lore as you progress. Now, Lilith goes down and a whole bunch of baddies pop up. We've got to take them out and try to get this ship on the road, because we're running out of time. We're getting close to our end goal of an hour and 25 minutes, and the fights are really ramping up. At this point, the enemies are getting a little bit stronger, and you have to be a little bit better. And that's where, again, Flak comes in such huge handy, because he does have that Beastmaster boost that nobody else really is going to have, unless you're going to play with friends, in which case you'll have an even better boost. Now, we'll revive Lilith and get Raren to go. It's fueled up. It's ready for us. We're at level 8, as you can see. Right here, we hit it, and at an hour and 25 minutes, we step into this ship. We soar to the skies and uncover an absolutely immense base that houses all of the places and people that are going to be very important to our entire main quest. Now, I could easily see this taking you double the time if you played it slow, or if you wanted to see the sights or complete all the side quests. You could easily spend 3+ hours on Pandora, but the ship is so cool, there's so much to do even when you're not floating around with Claptrap, and the other planets are where Borderlands 3 really shines. As I mentioned, this ship is what really helps Borderlands 3 earn its 3, because Pandora is a fun place to play, but trust me, it gets so much cooler once you can explore other planets that look drastically different and have totally different foes and quests. Now, this grumpy dude down at the purple door will give us what we need to power the ship to perfection and unlock the ability to drop pod down to new locales. So you'll end up spending quite a bit of time on your ship, as now we're heading for level 10. And surprisingly, it's going to take almost another hour to reach level 10, given all the dialogue and given how the main quests kind of snake their way through the first planet we land on, which will be at the hour and 43-minute mark. At that point, we'll hit the drop pod, get out of Sanctuary, and find ourselves on Promethea. Now, you can fast travel back up to Sanctuary from any point and any place in the game, which is absolutely awesome, super convenient, and a pretty darn quick load on PC. But I like being down on the surface and seeing what kind of wicked evils they have in store for us. We'll fight some foes and work our way through the beginning moments of Promethea. Now, I focus on the main quest because that's what we wanted to do to get to space, and that's what we needed for the most XP and the quickest path to level 10. Our Skag is Gamma-rific, and we're about to meet a really important character. Lorelei here is found at the hour and 47-minute mark, and she will guide us. But as always, we're more concerned with moving on forward, so we're going to use this moment to investigate our inventory, see where our character is at this point in the game. Just hit Promethea, got 3 gun slots and some pretty sweet weapons. We also have more time in our vehicle, because the first thing we'll do with Lorelei is help clear out these Promethean sewers. Now, I think Promethea is a very pretty planet, and hopefully you like what you see, but trust me, the planets get way cooler as you progress. They're saying the campaign is about 30 hours, and while I'm not there yet, it definitely seems to be a beefy single-player adventure, which I love. Now, here we are back at base. Lorelei's camp is getting attacked, so we're going to do our darndest to protect her and save her skin. And it's here that the game, I feel, really comes into its own. The enemies you find on Promethea, the guns you find, the bosses, it just starts to really take shape as the future of Borderlands, and I love it. It only goes up from here. We'll pop some heads, make them all dead, use the same weapons, honestly, we've had for a while, so I'm waiting for another boss to really drop that incredible loot so that I can have a full swap of my arsenal. We'll face off against 2 large fairy foes in this room before speaking to Reese, who you may remember from past titles, and he'll help guide us to our next friend who really will move the plot forward. But first, we got to take out the Flame Bros. Reese moves the story along via hologram before we head off to find our next companion. Now, it's honestly only about 20 minutes between touchdown and our next touchstone minute marker, but first we pick up this really good vehicle that allows us to rip through the streets and arrive at our next friend. Borderlands does a great job of reminding you of familiar faces, and this game is no different. They also remind you of bullets to your face because we're getting hit harder and harder as the Malamon forces pack a much deadlier punch than what we found on Pandora. But thankfully, at the 2-hour and 6-minute mark, we grab another friend, a familiar face named Zero. I love this guy, and I love that Borderlands has so many cool characters, and they're focused on storytelling. They're focused on incorporating all sorts of awesome lore and insanity into your playthrough. That's something that looter shooters have seemed to lose along the way, and Gearbox makes sure that this one is chock full of plot, protagonists, and puns. Now, we continue to push, we continue to shoot, and the battles really start to rage. Some of these courtyard fights are incredibly tough, and the disparity in the level we are and maybe the level they expect us to be, it's starting to show. But no matter, we can still get the job done. We've got some solid guns, we've got our friendly beast, and at 2 hours and 19 minutes, we run into our third boss, Giga Mine. Now, he is a brain in a jar, reminding me a lot of Krang and making Shredder jealous. But he's not as hard as you might think. He's more of a damage sponge than anything else, and as long as you keep your distance and make sure to take out the shielded foes surrounding him, you will be a-okay. Now, bosses are not only a fun time because they're named and crazy, but they're also the best opportunity for big loot, something that is going to be very important to you as you progress towards 10 and any sort of race you may be attempting within Borderlands 3. Now, it's unfortunate to say that even though we did get the nifty kill here, shotgun blasting this dude straight out of existence, he didn't drop anything that grand. Now, you may have better luck, but at the 2-hour and 23-minute mark, I did not pick up anything that I loved from Gigamine, which was a bit of a bummer and kind of took away from the stellar defeat that we had of this little brain boy. But it's okay because we are getting dangerously close to level 10. You can see we're at 9 and about 99%. So I'm going to fast travel back, saving time in any way that I can. We'll return to Reese, say hello, cash in Gigamine's mine, and grab our glorious level 10 pop. at 2 hours and 25 minutes. So there you go. That is the race to space, the race to level 10, and how to get it done with all the major markers along the way. The biggest tips are rush, sprint, fight the foes in front of you to make sure you have enough XP, complete that singular side quest back on Pandora, get off the planet as quick as you can, keep the pressure on the bosses, invest in a gun early if you need to, and then let the loot carry you home to Space, Sanctuary, and the 10th level. Hope you guys enjoyed this wild ride, and hopefully it helps you out when you pick up the game if you want to get to where it really opens up, because that's where Borderlands 3 becomes a super fun time. As you saw, Prometheus is a very different place, and there are plenty of others as you progress. So let me know your take in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Are you picking up Borderlands 3 when it comes out later this week? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for all the support. You can turn your notification bell on if you want to be ready for the next Borderlands 3 video. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date on the game and a whole bunch of others that are coming out this fall season. As always, drink some hot chocolate, my friends. Thanks again, and we will see you all later.